Hello and thank you for joining us for this week's track guide for Daily Race B in association with Kireth eSports. I'm JB Racing and I'm going to take you around this lap of Deep Forest in reverse. We're going to be in the Subaru WRX, it's Group 4 cars, so obviously everybody's in the Subaru. It's for 5 laps and there are a couple of tricky braking points on this, so I've put some screenshots in to help sort of point out a little bit more clearly where it is you need to be braking for a couple of corners. And you are also going to want to have handbrake mapped, so you're going to get to practice what it's like to be a real rally driver in this WRX this week. For the hairpin, the top times are all using the handbrake at the very end to help the car rotate. I'll explain a little bit more about how to do that as we go through the guide, but you can also just downshift to first, turn in, and then you're going to want to short shift to second gear and just accelerate very, very hard, and that will get the car to rotate around, but not as smoothly as using the handbrake if you can get that consistent. I did find this lap a little bit tricky, so I had to really break it down for myself, so hopefully that helps when I'm giving you guys the guide here. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the qualifying. Something to note with the Subaru is you want to be shifting as soon as the rev meter fills up, so best off not revving the gear out here, but we are going to hold 5th gear because it's slightly faster after you come down this hill. When you're coming up the next part, it's a little bit quicker to hold in 5th. You want to come over to the right hand side and aim for this green pole and then start turning in, bit of a lift to help the car come across, and we're braking in between the 100 and the 50 board. It's sort of just after you pass the 100, and now here I'm in second, and just there I just tap the handbrake just for a moment to get the car to go into a bit of a slide and then get straight on the power. The other option is that you can use first gear, as I mentioned at the beginning. And this is a bit of a brake marker you can use during the race. So I'm saying in between the 100 and the 50, where that PlayStation barrier ends there on the right hand side, so where it goes from blue to the metal finish, that's where you can brake. Unfortunately that isn't there in the qualifying though, so you can use that in the race to give yourself a braking marker, but in the quali you're going to have to just sort of measure that for yourself. Now for this next corner that we're coming up to, we've got another screenshot here to show you what we're looking out for. We're looking for the barrier change on the right hand side. You see where that yellow tip is to the end of the crash barrier. So at that change we're braking just before that, so it's not on it. You want to brake just before because it's a really important apex to hit this one. So heavy on the brakes, down into second gear, turn in, and then you want to clip this curb here, and you see I'm on the power before I even hit the apex. So that is the way you need to do that corner. We're going to be pretty much flat coming up the hill here, but you do lift a little bit just to get your tyres to come across onto the curb on the right hand side. And we're braking just as we come into the tunnel here, so as you come into the shadow on the brakes. It's a little bit quicker I think if you stay in third, but I had to use second just to help rotate the car there, then back up to third definitely for the acceleration and get on the power. And then we're using about half brake just before the end of the barrier coming out of the tunnel, and then that gets the car across onto this curbing here, again on the power nice and early. And you will find you need to use the curbs here to help rotate, and for this first right-hander I managed to get away with doing it flat there, but you probably want to lift that first right-hander ever so slightly. It's really important to get your car positioned over on the right hand side of the road and then turn in early for the second part of it so that you can do this section flat. Lastly, just on the 50 board here, or you can push it maybe to just after the 50 board, getting on the brakes down into third gear, and then when you get about halfway around this corner you can get on the power, and we're just powering out and coming up across the line. That lap was good enough for a 1:32.5, which I was quite pleased with compared to my other laps. It's just outside the top 10 at the point of recording. So please do drop a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. I'm just about to hit 500 subscribers on JB Racing, so thanks ever so much for everyone who's been coming over and enjoying the videos. And we'll leave you with the lap to play out at full speed now, so enjoy, good luck with your qualifying, and we'll see you next week for some more track guides. Thanks very much.